a quiet morning unfolds the way it always does. A mother drives her children to school, exchanges a few last smiles, and turns back toward home. Nothing looks rushed. Nothing feels wrong. Minutes later, her car slips into a driveway, and the house goes still. Hours pass. Appointments are missed. Phones go unanswered. By nightfall, a vehicle appears far from where it should be, empty and out of place. Elsewhere, cameras record movements that mean nothing on their own. Small stops, short pauses, ordinary streets. Only later will those images line up and begin to speak. What starts as absence slowly becomes something far darker. Jennifer Dulos was born in New York City in 1968 into a family that lived comfortably but valued work and learning. Her father, Hilliard Farber, worked in banking and was known for giving back. Her mother, Gloria Ortenberg Farber, stayed closely involved in her children's lives. Jennifer grew up with her older sister, Melissa, in a world where books, school, and conversation mattered. Fashion wealth surrounded her family through her aunt Elizabeth Claiborne. Yet Jennifer did not chase glamour. She went to Brown University, studied hard, and later earned a writing degree from New York University. Words were her tool, and stories were her way of making sense of life. At Brown, Jennifer met Fotis Dulos, a confident man with sharp ambition and big plans. Years later, after his first marriage ended, they married quickly and built a family in Connecticut. They had 5 children in a short span of time, including 2 sets of twins. Their home was busy, loud, and full of schedules. Jennifer became a full-time mother, while still writing online and running her own blog. From the outside, the family looked successful. Inside the home, pressure grew quietly. Jennifer wrote once that facing conflict frightened her deeply, a line that hinted something was already wrong. Over time, Jennifer felt her marriage slipping away. Fotis spent more time apart, focused on work and his own life. She believed he was seeing another woman, a colleague named Michelle Troconis. When Jennifer learned the relationship was real, the home changed completely. Jennifer moved out with the children and rented a house in New Canaan, close to their school. Divorce papers followed, and the tone turned harsh. Jennifer wrote to the court that she feared her husband and believed he would try to hurt her. She worried about threats, control, and the safety of her children. The fight over custody became constant and exhausting. Judges stepped in again and again as both parents accused each other of bad behavior. At first, custody was shared, but rules were tight. Later, after violations of court orders, Jennifer was given full physical custody. Fotis was limited to supervised visits and monitored calls. Jennifer felt some relief, but also deep fear. Money fights joined the custody battle when her mother sued Fotis over unpaid loans. By then, Jennifer was carrying the weight of legal stress, financial pressure, and constant worry for her children. Friends later said she lived carefully, never careless, always present. On May 24, 2019, Jennifer followed her usual routine. She drove her children to New Canaan Country School just after 8 in the morning. Teachers remembered her as involved and warm, but that day, no one clearly recalled seeing her face. A neighbor's camera later showed her car returning home, minutes later. Jennifer had 2 doctor visits planned in New York that day, but she never arrived. By afternoon, silence replaced her normal messages. By evening, friends felt something was very wrong. At 7 o'clock, Jennifer Dulos was reported missing. When police entered Jennifer's home, the story changed fast. In the garage, they found blood on the floor, on the door, and on the walls. Blood marked the outside of her Range Rover. Inside the kitchen, more blood appeared. Tests showed most of it belonged to Jennifer. One spot carried both her blood and Fotis's blood mixed together. Cleaning signs were clear. This was not a small accident. This was a violent attack. Jennifer's other car, a black Chevrolet Suburban, was gone. That detail mattered more than anyone knew at first.
Got it. There's some back here too. Splattered on the wall. Yeah. Whatever they hit went down this side of the vehicle. It's up here too. It's like a pattern here. Right, not fur. Usually if you hit a deer and it's blowing your car, you take it to the car wash and get it cleaned, especially a Range Rover. Yeah, it doesn't sit well with me, especially the fact that we've got a missing person.
Police searched everywhere they could think of. Parks, rivers, construction sites, and old properties connected to Fotis were checked. Dogs, helicopters, and divers joined the effort. Investigators believed Fotis arrived at Jennifer's home by bicycle and waited for her. They believed the attack happened in the garage shortly after she returned. Despite endless searches, Jennifer's body was never found. Her phone went quiet. Her cards were never used again. Time moved forward, but she did not. Every day without answers deepened the fear that the truth was buried somewhere unreachable. Jennifer's 5 children were taken to their grandmother's home and kept safe under close care. Teachers and staff from their school visited them, bringing routine into a moment of shock. The children were young, between 8 and 13, old enough to understand something terrible had happened, too young to process why. Their world changed in one morning. Their mother was gone, their father was distant, and their future felt uncertain. People around them focused on stability, meals, lessons, and quiet support, while the larger mystery remained unresolved. Fotis Dulos denied harming Jennifer. He claimed he had done nothing wrong and said he loved his children. He said he bought a gun only for protection and denied threats. He spoke of money problems and unfair treatment, but Jennifer's words in court filings painted a darker picture. She had warned the court she feared retaliation. Those words gained new weight after her disappearance. While investigators built timelines and tracked movements, Fotis continued to say he was innocent. The tension between his words and the evidence left a sharp divide that never closed. The silence around Jennifer Dulos broke 8 days after she vanished. On June 1st, 2019, police tracked Fotis Dulos and his live-in girlfriend, Michelle Troconis, to a hotel in Avon, Connecticut. There were no murder charges yet. Instead, both were arrested for tampering with evidence and hindering prosecution. Investigators said the case had not reached the level required for homicide charges, but the arrests made one thing clear. Police believed evidence tied to Jennifer's disappearance had been deliberately hidden or destroyed. Fotis offered nothing that helped explain where Jennifer was. Michelle stayed close to him. Both insisted they were innocent. At the same time, the Dulos' 5 children, then between 8 and 13 years old, were quietly moved out of Connecticut. They were taken to New York City to live with Jennifer's mother, who was granted temporary custody. For the children, life shifted overnight, again without warning, again without answers.
We know you have information, and we need to know that. We do not want to go through this movie. We don't want to go through the script, because we found the script. And if we start to review the script, the rehearsed story that we found documentation of, our instructions from the state's attorney will walk out that door. And when we walk out that door, that will be it. This is coming from the state's attorney. So please tell, I want to hear the script. I want to hear what happened to Jennifer, and I want to hear who's involved in her murder.
I don't know. You're asking me something that I don't know. But can I say something? Don't get upset to me.
I'm not upset. I just want you to understand what we're doing.
You say rehearsal. It's not a rehearsal. It's Sunday.
Okay, you'll have a chance. You found a piece of paper that mirrors your statement to us. We don't want to talk about that.
I slept with her. Her alarm and mine are set up. I think hers is at 6:35. Mine for sure 6:40. And we woke up. She takes showers. I go to my room. I also do the same thing.
Is Fotis there?
He was there when we woke up.
He was there at the house.
He was in the house.
Okay. So what if I were to tell you that I have evidence that he was not at the house at that time? Okay. You see what I'm saying? Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't want to be over dramatic. I don't want to. This is not any kind of threat. I just want you to understand. You have a daughter who's 12 years old. You have a mother. How old is your mom?
60.
Okay. All right. You want to see that, right? You don't want to go to prison. You don't want to get arrested for it.
Court documents released soon after the arrests outlined what investigators already believed. Surveillance cameras in Hartford had captured a man resembling Fotis Dulos, stopping repeatedly along city streets late on the night Jennifer vanished. He appeared to be disposing of trash bags into multiple public bins. A woman in the passenger seat matched the appearance of Michelle Troconis.
Police walking the jury through two separate videos from that night. The first near Albany Ave and Garden Street, where a man in a white shirt and a hat gets out of the car, dumps one garbage bag and another item next to the business. A witness testifying Monday that looked like a car mat. Investigators believe that's Fotis. Minutes later, he stops near Blue Hills Ave, this time with a woman in clear view in the passenger seat who reaches out of the car. A woman police say is Michelle Troconis, who later admitted it was her to investigators.
When police recovered some of those bags, they found kitchen sponges, cleaning supplies, clothing, and paper towels soaked with Jennifer Dulos' blood. DNA testing confirmed it. Investigators also found evidence that cell phones belonging to Fotis and Troconis were moving through the same Hartford neighborhoods at the same time those trash bags were discarded. Fotis hired attorney Norm Pattis, a lawyer known for speaking directly to the media. Pattis publicly challenged the case, saying nothing proved Jennifer was dead. He argued that based on the timeline, it was implausible that Fotis could have killed her. He acknowledged he could not explain the surveillance footage or the trash bags, but insisted his client did not know where Jennifer was. Both Fotis and Michelle pleaded not guilty and were released on bond with GPS monitoring. In July 2019, Fotis released a rare public statement. He said he understood why the public viewed him as a monster, given the limited information available. He asked people to trust the legal process. He said his children were the center of his world and that he worried about them and Jennifer. He insisted everything would eventually be all right. Behind the scenes, police continued building the case. In September 2019, Fotis and Michelle were arrested again on additional charges of tampering with evidence. Once more, both pleaded not guilty. No murder charge yet, no body, no resolution. Around the same time, Michelle Troconis quietly moved out of Fotis' $5 million home in Farmington, taking her 10-year-old daughter with her. The future she once believed she was building there ended without comment. Everything changed on January 7th, 2020. Connecticut State Police arrived at Fotis Dulos' home early in the morning and took him into custody. This time, the charges were severe: capital murder, murder, and kidnapping. Investigators said Jennifer Dulos never left her garage alive on the morning of May 24th, 2019. According to arrest warrants, police believed Fotis lay in wait for Jennifer at her new Canaan home. They said he attacked her shortly after she returned from dropping off the children at school, bound her with zip ties, and placed her into her own vehicle. Investigators said he then cleaned the garage before anyone realized she was missing. Michelle Troconis was arrested again, this time charged with conspiracy to commit murder. A third arrest followed the same day. Kent Douglas Mahoney, a longtime friend and former attorney for Fotis, was taken into custody and charged with conspiracy to commit murder as well. Police said Mahoney helped establish a false alibi and assisted in planning after the crime. As part of the investigation, police searched property owned by Kent Mahoney. Months earlier, in August 2019, investigators had discovered a shallow hole on the land that resembled a grave. Inside were 2 bags of lime and a blue tarp. No body was found. Authorities said whatever had been there had already been removed. Mahoney's estranged wife later told police she feared both Fotis and Mahoney, saying she believed they were capable of violence. That fear became part of the broader picture investigators were building. Jennifer's family released a statement after the January arrests. They said they were relieved charges had finally been filed, but emphasized there was no sense of closure. Nothing could bring Jennifer back. They said they missed her every day and always would. Fotis Dulos' bond was set at $6 million. He posted it and was released the following day under strict house arrest. Cameras monitored his movements. Law enforcement watched closely. He was scheduled to return to court in late February. Michelle Troconis, also released on bail, issued a statement in May 2020. She said trusting Fotis had been a mistake. She admitted she had lied to protect him, but insisted she did not know what happened to Jennifer or where she was. Kent Mauheny remained jailed for months before his bond was reduced, and he was released later that year. The world waited for a trial that promised answers many feared would never come. Before any trial could begin, Fotis failed to appear for an emergency bond hearing on January 28, 2020. Police were sent to his Farmington home for a welfare check. Through a window, officers saw him inside the garage, unresponsive. Fotis had attempted suicide by carbon monoxide poisoning. A vacuum cleaner hose had been connected from the exhaust pipe of his SUV into the interior of the vehicle while it was parked in the garage. Officers pulled him from the car and performed CPR. A faint pulse returned. He was rushed to Jacobi Medical Center in the Bronx for hyperbaric oxygen therapy. His children were allowed to visit him one final time. 2 days later, on January 30th, 2020, Fotis Dulos was pronounced dead. The man accused of killing Jennifer would never face a jury. After his death, Fotis's attorney released a handwritten note. In it, Fotis claimed complete innocence. He wrote that he refused to spend even one more hour in jail for something he had nothing to do with. He said Michelle Troconis had no involvement in Jennifer's disappearance. He said Kent Mauheny was innocent as well. The note raised more questions than it answered. To some, it read as defiance. To others, denial. The court dismissed the murder case because the accused was dead. Attempts to continue proceedings through his estate were rejected. The chance to confront Fotis in court was gone forever. With Fotis dead, the case fractured instead of ending. Michelle Troconis remained charged. Kent Mauheny remained charged. Jennifer Dulos was still missing. Then the pandemic arrived, freezing courtrooms, delaying hearings, and stretching time even further. Families waited while months disappeared. Michelle spoke publicly and said trusting Fotis was a mistake. She said she did not know what happened to Jennifer or where she was. She admitted lying to protect him, but denied knowing any plan. Kent said even less. The justice system paused while the world shut down. Investigators laid out a clear story in court papers. They said Jennifer returned home after school drop-off. They said Fotis was already there, waiting. They said he attacked her quickly and tied her before she could escape. They said she was placed inside her own car and taken away. They said the time window was tight and planned. They said Jennifer suffered injuries that could not be survived without fast medical help. They found no sign she ever received help. According to police, everything after that morning was about hiding the truth. Long before that day, the ground was already breaking. Jennifer and Fotis were locked in a bitter divorce. Custody fights filled courtrooms. Jennifer wrote that she feared him. She said he bullied and threatened her. She said he spoke about revenge and control. Fotis denied it all. He said Jennifer poisoned the children against him. He said he wanted peace. Judges tried to manage the damage while both sides accused each other of lies. When Jennifer disappeared, those old warnings returned with force. Words written years earlier suddenly felt like a map. Jennifer Dulos has never been found. There is no grave, no confirmed final resting place. Years later, searches still return to the same land, the same water, the same unanswered paths. Investigators say the evidence proves she is gone, but her family lives with a truth they cannot physically touch. In March 2024, Michelle Troconis was found guilty of conspiracy to commit murder, multiple counts of conspiracy to tamper with evidence, tampering with physical evidence, and hindering prosecution. 2 months later, she was sentenced to 20 years in prison, suspended after 14.5 years. Her appeal is still pending. Laws were changed in Jennifer's name. In 2021, Connecticut passed Jennifer's Law, a domestic violence statute named for Jennifer Dulos and Jennifer Magnano. The law expanded the definition of abuse to include coercive control, patterns of intimidation, isolation, and control that often exist long before physical violence. It passed with near unanimous support and was signed by Governor Ned Lamont, marking a shift in how the state recognizes hidden abuse inside marriages. Jennifer's case reached far beyond one home and one town, reshaping how danger is identified and addressed. Yet the center of it all remains unresolved. Jennifer Dulos has never been found. Somewhere, she is still waiting to be discovered, and the story ends here, unfinished, suspended in the same silence she left behind. Jennifer Dulos' disappearance did not fade with time. As the investigation unfolded and later fractured after Fotis Dulos' death, the case reached a national audience. Dateline NBC first covered it in 2019, bringing attention to the unanswered questions surrounding the morning Jennifer vanished from New Canaan. The program returned in 2022 with The Day Jennifer Disappeared, and again in 2024 with A Life Interrupted after the Troconis verdict. Each episode traced the same truth. Evidence mounted, but Jennifer was still missing. The case was also explored in the investigation discovery documentary Vanished in New Canaan, an ID mystery in 2020, and later dramatized in the 2021 Lifetime film Gone Mom, The Jennifer Dulos Story. Media coverage kept the case alive, but none could fill the absence left behind. At the center were Jennifer's 5 children, Petros, Theodore, Constantine, Christiane, and Cleopatra Noel. After Jennifer disappeared, they were moved to New York City and placed in the custody of her mother, Gloria Farber, who shielded them from the spotlight while court cases played out. Their longtime nanny remained with them, preserving some sense of stability. For years, the children stayed silent. That changed in 2024, when all 5 delivered victim impact statements at Michelle Troconis' sentencing. They spoke about losing their mother, losing safety, and losing trust. There was no anger for attention, only direct grief and unanswered questions. Today, the children are growing into adulthood, staying mostly out of public view. Laws were passed in Jennifer's name to recognize hidden abuse, but one fact remains unchanged. Jennifer Dulos has never been found, and the case, at its core, is still unfinished. The case may be unresolved, but the impact is real. If this story made you think, share your thoughts in the comments. If you believe these stories matter, like the video, subscribe, and stay with us as we continue to tell the ones that can't be forgotten.